Hello, my dear Virgos, and welcome to another reading with me, Mountain Medicine Coaching. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. We're going to go ahead and just take a moment to clear the energy. So take this time to take a few deep breaths. Get comfortable. Move your body around. And just know that you have nowhere else that you need to be right now. And if you're driving or doing dishes or what have you, just allowing yourself to become at peace and ready for the messages here. If you have any candles or scents or incense that you'd like to burn for a little bit of an ambiance, feel free to do that now. To get comfortable, grab yourself a drink or coffee or tea. And also set the intention to just clear any of the drama that has played out over the last week or two, month, the year, or just the stress of the day. And though it's okay for us to set intentions for these readings, it's really valuable to allow the cards to speak for themselves. So also just release any expectations that you have for the reading and become an open channel to receive these messages. So let us begin. Just a few more deep breaths here. We'll start with the positions. This is the center. This will be the overall consensus of the reading and where your spirit guides want you to focus. You then have your past here, healing and sensitive areas of emotional well-being will be here. We then have your mindset, what's going on in your cognitive energy, then your spirit team, spirit guide messages, all the way to your forward action into your next step. So then we have the Lenormand that's just read from left to right like a sentence here. So let's dive in. We have radical curiosity with this beautiful childlike energy here. It's almost elven or otherworldly. And it says, seeing as if for the first time, every time. Very beautiful. So some perspective shifts coming your way. Very good. Perhaps some inner child stuff. And in the past here, we have thunder, and it was in the reverse. So a little bit of upheaval. Something went on. A little bit of a drama. And we'll tap into what that was. But the overall consensus there is that it is usable energy. And then we have the rhythm here with the drum. And I do have a tendency to turn my cards upright. So if all of them are reversed, we won't pay too much mind to that. I just shuffle them this way. Okay, so this is all about internal timing. It's a little bit like your internal alarm clock, right? And we all have these hours of power where we have more energy than others. So some people, this is at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some people are morning people. Some people are night thinkers. My favorite quote now is a daydreamer and a night thinker. It's one of my favorite things. But I love that there's lightning bolts on both of these cards here. So a very powerful energy here for you as you're moving into this next state of being. Let's see what the spirit guides have to say to you. This one was in the upright, which is good, and right where it should be. So we're actually doing the 4 directions spread here, and this would be north. So wisdom and gratitude and messages from that spirit realm. So you're very tapped in. We have the white buffalo here, which is the most sacred of all animals in the Native American culture and text. So the buffalo were all about abundance, and then the white is like albino, so like a rarity. So it's like a rare trigger or like a rare catalyst for this wisdom and gratitude. So it's like a grandfather energy there. For some of you, it could be that way. And then we have into the forward movement here, the storyteller. And I really love this archetype, this, it's a very, very ancient concept where there was a one person who would travel amongst all the tribes, and they would tell the stories or the legends of other tribes. So it could tell of wars that were won. It could tell of warriors who, had this heroic event. death, rebirth, all these different things. So it's somebody who travels far and wide to share a very specific story that is for a very specific reason. So more childlike understanding. And the storyteller would particularly speak to the children. So some of you may be teachers, like school teachers or something like this, but I think for many of you, there's an inner child that's ready to come forward and to really be helpful on this journey. Okay, and I'm the Lenormand here. Let's see what the story is. The reversed mountain, choices, DNA and health, the empire, commitment, the man, and the clouds. Okay, interesting. So the mountain is challenges, and we did have the clouds here as well. So having these on either side is actually quite good. The mountain being in the reversed means things are going to start easing up for you, but you still do have this choice, this decision. Let me hold these up for you. So there's the mountain, signifying most of the time challenges. And then we have the choice here to go one way or another way. And if I had to direct you one way or another, it would be which way ignites your inner child. Okay, and then we have DNA, which if you look here, it's actually the Kabbalah, which human design is based upon as well. So this is about understanding the deeper parts of yourself and your DNA codes, your ancestral healing, things like that. We then also have the Empire in the reverse. This is still called the Tower card. However, it's very much different from the traditional Rider-Waite Smith. Then we have the ring here, commitment, but it is, oops, in the reverse, followed by the man. Okay, so this could very well be quite literally a committed relationship. And the clouds are actually going from light to dark. So the challenges are lifting, but it could be momentary, or just simply saying there's more storms, right? Because we have these sort of stormy skies. Okay, 3, 6, and a 6. So that's kind of interesting. We'll go into a little bit deeper of the story to see a little more of what's going on. And let's begin with what is ready to be released. What is it that we are healing? What is it that we're working through here? Everything in perfect balance. Okay, so we have sort of these clouds within her heart space. Her goal is to open her heart and to become this Christ-like consciousness here, because we have the halo above the head and we have the thorny crown, and the thorny crown goes all around her. So there's boundaries to be put up a little bit. As you see here, the crowns are not puncturing her, they're serving her well. So self-assistance is very much needed, and to be utilizing your inner battles, your inner upheavals as usable energy and making them work for you. And at the bottom here we have doable, which says the key is within your grasp. And I really love this card because it's like this person just reaches out the broken window and just so happens to catch the perfect key. So it's like internal timing, which we have here as well. They go hand in hand here. It's like whatever you do will be correct, as long as you're trusting yourself and you're putting your own self-value at the front of your focus. Okay, let's dive into a little bit more of your goals, what it is that you are perpetuating, manifesting, moving forward with. What are the goals and mindset? What's been the focus for Virgo? The details. Okay, so some of you may be getting a little bit lost in the details, which is okay. It's like you're building an empire here. You're making big choices. You're moving forward with your world. And so there's nothing wrong with diving in. And then now we have intention followed immediately by the compass. So I think that the compass is going to be most beneficial for you. We have the astrological signs here going around in a circle, and the middle is kind of bursting open, kind of with an Akashic Records type vibe, which is something that I've been diving into, as well as the details too. You know, the color schemes are very similar there. And then we have intentions here where it's like the owl can see 360 degrees around, and they have this wish in their mouth and this egg that they're standing on. So there's fertile ground here. There's wishes to be granted, and there's a 360-degree view to be seen from the eyes of the owl. So very beautiful energy there that you're perpetuating and putting out into the universe. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more of Akashic Records, because I do feel with some of this archetypes here, with this perfect balance and this Christ consciousness, we have the white buffalo here, which is the prophecy of the white buffalo, raising the vibration of the planet, right? Making decisions based upon your health, your well-being. And the Akashic Records is all about diving into your unique makeup, right? Your soul contracts. With the Kabbalah here, it's like human design. It all just kind of fits. And so the universe wants you to know that there's a really gorgeous opportunity out there for you, whether it's the Akashic Records or other programs that people like me like to offer, you know, full-time spiritual ascension workers. And I'll talk a little bit about my mastermind as well. But I just feel that for some of you, yep, there's a need for protection as well. More lightning. Let's go into this. So we have some stormy weather, and it just happens. Again, it's just upheavals, drama, things that are going on. But at the end of the day, the perfect balance within yourself and this radical curiosity here. I think many of you have this energy in the past, this upheaval, and you're being asked here to see something as if for the first time every time. So it's like the universe is sending you things again and again, seeing if you're going to see it differently this time. So there is a need for a little bit of spiritual protection, but if you talk to any spiritual teacher, they'll tell you that's always the first step anyway. And in so doing, we have the bottom of the deck here being taking risks. So whether it's investing in yourself, whether it's going forward with this business idea, maybe some of you are looking for health as a health coach, perhaps, or maybe you're becoming a healer in and of yourself, because this is a person who offers insight. So some of you may be called to that, but this power leads to like the phoenix rising, and we have the eagle here, and we'll see if the eagle comes through again. Most of the time, if they come through once, they'll come through again. So let's go into the next stage here, what it is you're going to be expressing in this next step of life, this next step you're going into. Yes, you're growing your intuition. We have sacred symbols here. We have the rabbit as well as the egg. So some nod to Ostara was just passed when I did this reading, but it is a timeless one. So, you know, it could be Ostara where you are now. So there's standing stones here. We have this crone energy, this elder energy, and she's planting this garden with the sacred spiral. So there's a wispiness about this. There's magic here, and the sky is nice and clear. So your future is very much bright. You're just in this position now to sort of be tapping into this easy energy. I'm hearing it's easier to take it easy, whatever that means. So maybe for some of you, there's some looking deeper, finding deeper meanings in something that should be more simple. And so then at the bottom now we have awareness, and it's a dark night. Some people call the night dark night of the soul. And so the upheavals that's being healed, that's in the past and still potentially playing out in your mind. You know, we all have something like that. Limiting beliefs, old stories, old drama that likes to run the show. And so that leads me here to the bottom of the deck with this card here is the Wheel card, but it says here, wishful expectations. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. And I think this is so interesting as it's the Wheel, but we also have chains on her ankles and she's in this very awkward position, all tangled up in the wheel. So with expectations, when we put forward expectations, we're not going with the flow, right? And if we're not seeing things from a new angle and allowing ourselves to release and go with the new opportunities and just allow the smoke to clear, allow the storm to clear, we end up in this very ungrounded space that goes from challenge to thunderstorm, from thunderstorm to need for protection and things like that. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of living by default, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we are being asked a little bit to expand, to take opportunities into our own hands, to grow our intuition, and to really begin making these decisive decisions, yes, taking decisive action, there we go, as it pertains to our inner health and what we are here to accomplish. And again, here at the bottom of the deck says sacred space, which is about protecting your own energy. And there was one other sign, it was either Sagittarius or Scorpio, I want to say, that also got these two together. So an interesting combo because it's two children and the colors are even the same from the red to the purple to the blue. So it's this really interesting, two very different decks created years and years apart. We have the 2 and then a 4 and a 4. So just an interesting synchronicity there. But this again is the process that we're going through here from the medicine wheel, so the past, within, above, and forward. And this is also part of the mastermind that I've put together that is now available. It's $2,400 for 8 weeks of one-on-one time with me. That's subject to change. Again, this is a timeless reading, so you'll have to reach out to me in the email that will be in the description box to see if it's still available. But what we do is essentially go through this process one-on-one together, and you end up being a certified transformation coach, certified spiritual transformation coach, and going through the elements and going through this idea that is a common denominator among many divine origins, right? So it isn't just a Native American concept. This is also Celtic, where we go from the maiden to the mother, the guardian, and the crone. And again, this 4-step process that we see again and again throughout history, that also is the divine wheel, the sacred spiral, and it is called by many names. So reach out to me. The best way is email, because I know there's some scammers out there right now taking advantage of the comment section. So I just want to be as safe as possible. Okay, let's move on. We now have the momentum that's guiding you on this journey. What is the momentum here for Virgo? The hearth fire. Yes, very, very common driving factor in our world is this coming together and raising a glass and gathering together and having this community, you know. And I feel that many of you, if you've had upsets and upheavals in the past that you're healing, that have pushed you off balance, you know. And in our brains, it makes so much sense. If we're cast out of a tribe or of this family, soul family, when we're cast out of a friend group, what have you, or rejected in some way, our brains go back to tens of thousands of years ago, where if we were rejected from a tribe, we were sentenced to death, right? If we're on our own, we'll get eaten by a bear or a lion. And so that human condition still lives within us today, where if we're rejected, we do not feel safe, and we feel as though we've done something wrong, and we start doing this self-reflection work, and we just start diving into the details and the compass and which way are we going, what choices did I make, the second guessing energy that then creates more turmoil. So we also have this journey card, which is also the death card in this deck, and it's about the raven spirit, which also represents the void. So you're doing some deep diving. It's always an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to see things differently. And next in line, we have the Queen of Stones, which is the bear. So you're not looking to get eaten by any bears anytime soon. But here's the bear here, which is actually a very great protector. She protects her cubs with a force that's to be reckoned with, right? And she actually guards this cave, and the cave is where this healing happens. So it's very cool that these two come together, because you would be going into this beautiful healing space, and the great bear will be protecting you on that journey of introspection. And then immediately after that, I know I'm going on a tangent with this deck, but it's just wanting to talk right now. So we have now the world tree and this labyrinth down at the bottom, which again is this sacred spiral, which is really calling to you. We have this here, and as soon as I pulled up the card here, we have another spiral. So many of you will be feeling called to that spiritual transformation coaching, because it's a healing journey that takes you through 8 whole weeks of a deep dive into your own soul expansion, to be looking at this upheaval, upset, the cast out type energy for some of you. But for many of you, it's you're moving into the 5D, and that's indicated here as well. I did mention there's a prophecy around the white buffalo, and it's the whirling rainbow prophecy. And here it is to speak with you, which is gorgeous. A lot of people have been talking about the age of Aquarius, the 5D Christ consciousness, and in Native America. There is also the 7th fire prophecy. You can find it by searching that as well, where it just depends on the tribe. But the whirling rainbow is the one that I first researched from finding this deck. And it's just so beautiful. There's just no words, really. And it's just this moment in time where all of the children of Earth will band together and link arms. And we see here unity, which leads us to having a wholeness achieved across the planet. And it's utilizing this rare abundance of the white buffalo. And it's part of the Lakota creation story, and the author of which wrote this book that I read, having it be The Fifth World of Peace, is Jamie Sams. So that may be pertinent to some of you, but again, we're doing this healing work, coming together, going through this process, a 4-step process done 2 times to create a spiral, which we see here as well in the Celtic theology. And you see that the tree is split into 4 pieces. So we have again the 4 seasons. Okay, and you are of course protected and guided through this journey, either by this bear spirit or by another spiritual teacher, if it's not myself. Okay, where are we now? Let's see. We're diving in next to the aspects of you that are going to be coming forward and shining through during this time of transition for you. What is going to be coming forward for Virgo? The 4-part process comes again. Okay, so many of you may be feeling called to this, but this is the balance between emotion and intellect. So again, you've been on this sort of whirlwind of a journey, and you're ready for this balance to play out. We have everything in perfect balance. We have rhythm and timing. We have the compass coming full circle here, the death card with the expansion card, and then we have the sacred spiral here 2 times again in this deck, or this card here, which is your next forward movement. So for some of you, this is some pretty great confirmation about that opportunity that I have available now. So in any case, you're tapping into some very powerful emotional maturity. Yeah, okay, so we have the death card going right next to the death card here. Very, very interesting. So death and rebirth, we have an egg here with a baby. We have the snake here, cuddling it, which is about transformation and shedding of the old. And then the frog is here to say cleansing. And of course, the skulls are the death. And in the background there, we have the earth, or the space-time, right? So this energy here that we're seeing with all of the purples and the blues, tapping into God's source spirit and connecting deeper to your higher sources. So there's a lot of release work happening within you. You know, it goes so much farther beyond just the roles that people or things are playing. We have the role of the career and a committed relationship here, and then the role of the self-care. And then we have details, which could be courses that you're taking, or career options, or schooling, something like this. But all in all, maybe some of the question you're asking is, which way do I go? Because we do have the compass in that position. So let's dive into the animals that will be guiding you at this time. What animals do we have here for Virgo as they navigate this time? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Duplicated card here with the mouse and the details. So you have details duplicated here, which is saying that trying to decide if this is a positive or a negative thing. You know, there's two ways to read every card, and not that it came out reversed. Rarely do I have reversal cards, but we did have the challenge card here, and then the thunder and the turmoil, you know, with the lightning storm. So it could be that some of you are diving deep into something that hurts your soul, in which case it's just easier to come back to what lights you up. But for others of you, you're looking into the details of your business or details of your relationship, right? Timelines, how long will it take for this to happen? And the downside of this is that it can sometimes slow down our manifestation process. So I do think there's some chilling out energy for you, because all in all, the goal is for your intuition to blossom. Yes, and then we also have self-reflection here. Okay, so the emotion and intellect coming through again, and your Kabbalah coming through here, perhaps human design. And I do dabble in some human design readings too, if you're interested in that. Very, very cool system. If you don't know of it, it's very interesting. So the blue heron, or any of the water birds, are all about self-reflection. He's actually the face of the Native American church as well. If you look up Native American church, the water bird is the first thing that comes up, and that's because he wades through the water all day looking down at the water. So of course he's looking at his reflection. Okay, very cool. So we have the bear, the buffalo, the heron, and the mouse. And at the base here, we have aggression through the badger. So again, two meanings to every card. The badger could be stand up for yourself, decide what is and isn't going to be acceptable for you to accept, acceptable to accept, yes. Or it could be that, you know, more of this upheaval, the thunderstorms that have been going on are just not serving you. Yes, and then as I cut the deck here, we have the teacher with the wolf. And I did mention that some of you could be teachers. So another nod here to this, moving into your next step, your next state of being. But there's still something to be released here. You're releasing something in order to get to this expansion, and perhaps to become a teacher of some kind, whether it be in the Akashic Records, as a spiritual transformation coach, you know, or whatever strikes your fancy. You may already know, but those couple that I mentioned are ones that I can personally help you with. So don't hesitate to reach out. Now, how you're going to be focusing upwards to your spirit guides and your spirit team is going to be the journey, which is a duplicate message from this Raven card here. And it says, focus on how far you have come, not how far you have to go. You will find help in unexpected places. Very cool. So it may be this reading, you know, you may feel called to move forward in some way. on something that we mentioned today. And of course, you'll be guided more and more on your journey as you start taking care of yourself and start to really face this upheaval, the thunderstorms that have gone on. Or maybe some of you are manifesting love, manifesting career. But again, it comes down to this radical curiosity and this emotion and intellect being at the same page and seeing opportunities for what they are, which is just options for you to grow through. And at the bottom here, we have clarity. Banish the fog of illusion. Open your eyes to the truth. Remember the perfection of who you are. So more self-reflection stuff. The fog of illusion could very well be just the upheaval, the upsets. It's really hard to see where you're going when there's thunder everywhere and rain and clouds. But it's important not to forget that no matter what you do, you're going to catch the right key. So you're going to be at the right place at the right time, no matter what that looks like for you. There's no need to worry or stress. You know, we have divine timing here as well. And it's not always the best message to hear, which is to rely on divine timing. But the best way that you can put one foot forward as far as where you're headed and getting to this goal is going to be to balance your inner self and really be focusing on getting to this point here. This is the end all be all, right? Is to be this crone who has reached this level of destination. And we see it here with all of these different things. Okay, if I can hold them up right. Okay, so the spiral being that the end goal is to raise the vibration of the planet, right? And to help others and to be a light, to be some sort of a teacher, a storyteller, someone who can expand others through transformation journeys. Maybe that is a big part of it, is you're here to be the leader of other people's journeys as well, with this intuition that's really blossoming through you and going through this process. Maybe it's just that you've been looking for and needing a framework, and maybe this mastermind could give you that, the framework once and for all, where before you've just been sort of going through the wheel, because we all are in the sacred spiral, we all are in this world being sort of tossed about, but we can take those chains off your ankles. And instead of acknowledging the smoke and mirrors, we're able to take charge of the metamorphosis that we are on, and also to find some grounding through this anchor card here that's on the bottom of the deck as well. But I do feel that this 4-step process, this sacred spiral, is really calling to some of you. So if you do feel called, just find that email in the description box. I know it's a little bit of an ask rather than having a pretty link put together. But like I said, there's just people out there who have been, you know, taking advantage of the comment section. So I don't want there to be any mistakes. I'd rather speak to you directly to make a sale. That's just how I like to do things, is one-on-one. So there's this attention to detail, knowing that all in all, you're going to find your soul tribe. You're going to be able to ascend with the people that you are called to, and you're going to find yourself diving deeper and getting into these sacred texts, whether it be the Kabbalah and your DNA codes and your ancestral healing, whether it be the relationship moving forward because you tapped into your inner self that's able to be playful and able to just let bygones be bygones. You know, there is this release work that's asking to be done, but it's very personal. And, you know, there is a little bit of a ask for protection, but don't be alarmed at that. It's not because somebody's trying to get you. It's more just to make this journey a little bit easier. And the more that you have protection on, the less that these upheavals and thunderstorms can reach you. Or, you know, this corporation here too. Sometimes this can be soul-sucking jobs and corporate greed, things like that. It gets to all of us. You know, we're all in this 3D world trying to send to the 5D. So if you're interested in the Akashic Records for help with that, that's included in the mastermind. So the mastermind is 3 different certifications: the spiritual transformation coach, the Akashic Records practitioner, and reader. So you get the ability to teach and to read for others. And then you will get an online marketing diploma, which allows you to then market yourself, to fill your schedule up, and to make this an income stream of your own. So it's been practiced, it's been proven, and it's based upon some of these really gorgeous ancient origins. Again, it's a common denominator of many, so please don't think that I'm stealing from any one culture. It's kind of like human design, where it's taken these ideas from all over the world, whether it's the Celtic tree, the sacred spiral, the medicine wheel, the wheel of the year, the I Ching. You know, it's all encompassing, and it's really just a way to simplify and summarize what those texts mean, because I have been researching them for 12 plus years. Okay, so I do hope that this reading came full circle for you. Keep on releasing, keep on protecting, keep on allowing yourself to look at the details so long as they serve you. If you start to look into something so deeply and it begins to steal your joy, then come back to this inner child here and try to see it for the first time. You know, the more that we tunnel vision and get into the details, the more that the edges get fuzzy, you know, and we want to have everything all very open and perceptive. And the goal is to be able to teach others, help others to ascend, etc. So check out the description box, you all. I always appreciate your likes and comments. I will get back to comments if you leave them. So go ahead and talk to me. Don't be afraid. I'm happy to make connections on here. Also, like and subscribe, because I am here every month for these free readings. You can also book a one-on-one reading, a personal reading that looks just like this, but catered to you. I actually go one step farther in the personal readings, where I gather all the cards up and I actually tell a story from start to finish. I just run out of time for these, as I'm doing 12 a month. So subscribe so you can be here next month. I have a free Facebook group if you'd like to come and hang out with me there. Email me, whatever you'd like, even if it's just a positive message of support, and we can move forward with working together to raise the vibration of the planet and to fulfill and live out all of these beautiful prophecies that we have been researching together. So I appreciate you all being here. I will see you all next month or in my inbox. We'll see you then. Bye.